Bore da, croeso I gwasanaeth yr wythnos. Good morning and welcome to this week's assembly. This half term, our value is respect, because at Windsor Clive, everyone is important, valued and special. Hi everybody, we're carrying on talking about respect this week, and this week's story is all about being patient and taking our time. Now, at the moment, we're all learning how to be patient, with school being shut, not being able to see our friends, our family, not being allowed to go to the cinema, and all the things that we used to do. So being patient is a really important skill to learn. Now, I don't know about you, but I am a really impatient person. If I've got an idea or want something done, I have to have it done straight away. So I'm hoping that in this week's story, I'm going to learn something about being patient, taking my time and waiting a little bit longer. The title of this week's story is Croc Needs to Wait. And in this week's story, Croc can never wait for anything. She's always interrupting other people, she rushes things and hates waiting her turn. Can she learn to slow down and be a little more patient? Let's find out in this week's story, Croc Needs to Wait, a book about being patient. Croc was very impatient. On the day of Giraffe's birthday party, she kept asking her mum if it was time to go yet, but her mum said she would have to be patient and wait. On Monday, Miss Bird asked everyone what they had done at the weekend. She said they had to take turns to speak, but Croc was too excited to wait her turn. She kept interrupting. Miss Bird got cross. She said it was rude to interrupt people when they were speaking. In the maths lesson, Miss Bird told everyone to add up their sums carefully. She told them not to rush. But Croc loved doing sums. She wanted to see how fast she could do them. She forgot to add them up carefully and she got them all wrong. At playtime, it was raining. Everyone had to stay inside and play board games. Croc loved board games, but she got too impatient to wait her turn. When it was Monkey's turn, Croc grabbed the dice instead. Worse still, she knocked over the board by accident. Everyone was cross with Croc for spoiling the game. After playtime, Miss Bird asked Croc and Hippo to colour in a picture. Hippo coloured really carefully. He kept in the edges. But Croc was impatient to finish the picture. She didn't keep in the edges at all. Miss Bird said it was not neat enough to go on the wall. Hippo was upset. He said Croc should have been more patient. The next day, Miss Bird said they were going to make clay pots for their parents. She said they must make them carefully. She said they must wait for the pots to dry before painting them. But Croc was so pleased to be making a pot for her mum that she didn't take her time. She rushed it. Her pot ended up a very odd shape. Croc didn't wait for the pot to dry before she painted it. All the paint ran off the pot and made a mess. Croc was sad. Croc went to see Miss Bird. Miss Bird asked her what she should have done. Croc thought about it. She said she should have taken her time. She said she should have been patient. She said she should have waited for the pot to dry before she painted it. Miss Bird said it was better to be patient and careful than to rush and spoil things. Croc said she would try to be patient in the future. That afternoon, Miss Bird said they were all going to make model boats to sail on the school pond. She said they had to work in pairs. Croc wanted to work with Hippo. Hippo was worried. He said Croc had to work carefully. Croc promised that she would. Miss Bird gave everyone the instructions to read. She said they had to take turns to do each job. Croc and Hippo worked really hard. Croc tried hard to be patient. She read the instructions carefully to Hippo. She sorted out the wooden shapes carefully. She waited patiently while Hippo glued the shapes together. They both waited patiently for the glue to dry. Then Croc painted the boat. She took her time and painted it really well. She and Hippo waited for the paint to dry. Last of all, Croc waited patiently while Hippo put the sail on the boat. Everyone took their boats to the pond. All the boats sailed well, but Croc and Hippo's boat sailed the best of all. Croc was very pleased. She told Miss Bird that it was much better to be patient than to rush things and spoil them. Hippo said it was much nicer to work with someone who was patient. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's story, children, and let's think about some of the things that we've learned. Being impatient and not waiting our turn can affect ourselves, like Croc in the story, getting his work wrong, but also it can affect others. If we're playing a game and we're impatient and we don't take our turns, it can spoil other people's fun. Now, as I said earlier, at the moment, all of us are having to be really patient and learn to wait while we wait for things to be a bit easier in our lives. And if you're getting a bit stressed or a bit sad by it, there's a really good saying that you can remember, and it says, good things come to those who wait. So the more patient you are, the more time you wait, good things come at the end. And hopefully soon, there'll be good times ahead for all of us when we're over this pandemic and lockdown is eased. So remember, good things come to those who wait. That's our little saying and thought for this week. Have a lovely rest of the week, and I'll see you at the end of the week for our celebration assembly. Take care, everybody.